Like I said before, on the Thursday night, if you haven't seen my video on the, Ghostbusters, then you would have known that I went recently to Not Scary Farm. Now, some of you probably been there, some of you probably not. So, maybe this video is probably going to be confusing for you, but it doesn't matter because I'm explaining it. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about it. So that trip was my first time being at a horror event, especially late at night. And let me just say, it was awesome. It was really fun. There was some spooks, some mazes, some parts of the story, and that were really interesting and amazing. So, I'm just gonna remorse over it, so that, you can get a hint of how I thought it was awesome. So, let's begin. Alright, so if you've been there before, or, probably haven't, you would probably know that there are mazes there. And, particularly, in the fact of them, is that there are some certain mazes which are good, while other ones are bad, but that's just all how you see it, whether you're just scared of it or not. I don't even know. Probably you may be scared, probably not. You probably wouldn't even know. I don't even know, but it doesn't matter. During the first maze, it was a pumpkin patch one, and let me just say that maze was awesome. It wasn't awesome, but it was a little jumpy at some parts, and I kind of jumped a bit. I kind of screamed or laughed or that kind of stuff when you get scared or something or spooked. Well, the next thing we did was basically go to Fiesta Village and just went on some of the rides. After that, we eventually went to the next maze, which was in Boardwalk, which was infested with clowns, which scared my sister because she's afraid of clowns. Hahaha. I'm exposing her. Okay. The next maze we went to was kind of halfway through it as we saw this house, and it was a little bit of a long line, but it was actually quick. Don't let lines deceive you. Sometimes they can be quick, other times they can actually be slow. So we went inside. Now that maze was something, because let me just say, the fact of the matter is that maze was full of monsters and stuff, and it was just boo, raw or jing, those kinds of effects. Now, let me just say this. During one part of the maze, I was eventually scared because a skeleton popped out of the wall. Makes sense, right? No. The next room we entered, the skeleton is following me, and I'm like, oh god. And then the next room, because the rooms were kind of separated or short, the room was basically blinking lights, and, the skeleton was still following me. And I was like, oh my god. And after the 4th or 5th blink, I swear, I'm not even making this up, he literally disappeared. I looked behind me, because the strobe lights eventually, stopped, and I looked, and he was nowhere to be found. There was no holes, or doors, or anything. It was just my family that I kind of, ran off to, because I kind of ran away from them at certain parts of the place. That was fun. The next maze was the samurai one, kind of very spooky, but it wasn't really scary. It was just pretty fun. Not much to say about that. We eventually went to around Ghost Town Square, and there was a show there. I'll leave a link to the video down below, which actually has some of the show. We got there kind of when it was already happening, but it was a pretty good show after all. So I'll leave that below. It's also on my phone, so it's probably gonna be very bad quality. So aware of that. Okay then. So the next maze we went to was this red barn thing. Now that was an hour long, and that's the time I took to literally do my wanna play animation. Literally, I'm not even lying. It literally took me the span of almost a month doing that thing. Because I'm not a lazy person. I'm more of a, at least hardworking, split things up if they're due until a long time kind of person. After that maze was done, at the end, okay, this is the most memorable part, I swear. There was a couple in front of us, and they got scared by this, pig in a chainsaw. And it scared him, and he headed back to his cabin because as soon as I was passing by, and I was like, there is no way he's gonna scare me because I already saw him. There is no way he immediately turns on the chainsaw, and that makes me jump. And with all my Mexican senses, because we know in horror movies that white people are the ones who stay and die, black people are the ones who run but fail or probably trip and then die. are the ones that fight or fail. And then the Mexicans, well, we run or fight. So my Mexican instinct just kicked in, and I ran the hell out of there. This is funny because I ran, and I looked behind me, and he was chasing me while the rest of the people and some of my family were basically walking. And I was like, I'm being chased here by a guy with a chainsaw. How come you guys are not being threatened? So I literally ran into the guy. And I tried to, just be like, oh, heck no, I'm gonna leave you. You guys are dying. Bye. I ran out of there, and everybody was just dying of laughter and just laughing at me. I was pretty sad, but that was one of the more hilarious things ever. I'm not even lying. I still remember that very clearly, and that's probably gonna stick with me for a while. Alright, on to the last thing. So, eventually we got over that. We got over another thing, another maze, which was about zombies. We were killing them like Black Ops in a way. So after that was done, we went to Ghost Town. There was a fog there, and there was a lot of monsters popping in and out of the shadows. So, I was a little bit jumped and spooked, or I was like, whoa, amazed. So, we eventually went to the last maze because it was literally almost 1 a.m. because it was like midnight when we were already heading to our last maze. This one was at Ghost Rider. This is the trick or treat one, and let me just say, this was literally the same, and I'm not even lying, the same time it took for the Red Barn, an hour. And oh my god, I spent the rest of the time working on my wanna play animation, so I eventually got that done. Because I used my time wisely. Like some people I know. Anyways, but yeah. So yeah, that happened, and we basically went in. It wasn't spooky, really. It was one of the but they let us have flashlights. I got a couple of scared sometimes. I jumped. I was like, and then I ran past the wolf during the last part of the thing, and then we went home, and then I fell asleep in the car. And then the next morning, I had school, because it was a Friday, and I basically just, only had 4 hours of sleep. Actually, no, I think it was 5. I don't even know. So yeah, that was my whole experience. Oh god, but I'm still gonna remember that because, this is Halloween's month. There's plenty of more spooky stories to tell, but I'll save that for another time. So if you guys enjoyed it, leave a like as always, and subscribe if you haven't already. Help us reach 200. I'll be busy with some other things. I'm also trying to see if I can get better software because my iMovie thing is technically not working. So I will see you all in the next. See. Bye.
Beware, you're in for a scare.